Howdy folks, Nathan coming at you from the 2020 Chicago Auto Show, and I'm in the Chrysler Pavilion with some really big news for minivan fans, and that's because this is the 2021 Chrysler Pacifica. Now, this is not an all-new van, but it's damn close to it, with a new front end, all-wheel drive in the offering, new trim levels, including the Pinnacle, and we're going to cover all of that as we do a walk around. So let's first start with the new styling in the front end. You may notice, yes, that is completely different. It's a little bit more SUV-like, and I think that it was something they wanted to go for. They definitely took away the jelly bean shape of the front end, and they've changed it to a slightly more chiseled, perhaps more sophisticated look. Now that theme goes throughout the vehicle, but for the most part, this is really the biggest change. The taillights are different as well. They have a little bit more of a uniform look to them, if you will. But that's not really the big deal. The big deal is in the back. For those of you who are thinking to themselves, Toyota has a monopoly on one thing in the minivan industry, and that is all-wheel drive. No longer. And that's because this vehicle now has the option for all-wheel drive. Now bear in mind, that is only for the regular gas version. The hybrid plug-in is still the hybrid plug-in without all-wheel drive. But here's the cool part. Come over here. A lot of people thought that in order to have all-wheel drive, you can't have stow and go. Well, guess what? They found a way to make it happen. So what they were able to do was replumb everything underneath the vehicle, the exhaust, the gas tank, and everything else, move it around, and it allows for a drive shaft to go through and for a rear diff. So you're still able to stow all these seats completely flat, as you can see here, and at the same time have all-wheel drive as an option. Now, there are a couple things you should know. The vehicle sits a little bit differently, but the overall ground clearance is about the same as it was before. The all-wheel drive system, it's actually kind of cool because it actually can take, and I said actually more than once, I know, it takes the torque and it can put up to 100% to the rear if needed. So it's not just a regular, simple one that just adds a little bit of torque. Up to 100% can go to the rear. It's built for, obviously, inclement weather, not for off-roading. Now, when it's not in use, it'll disconnect and you'll have a simple front-wheel drive setup, giving you maximum efficiency. So it completely decouples. So that's one of the really cool options, but it's not the only thing that's available for this van. Let's work our way over to the other one. I'm one of those people who's always believed that the most utility you can get is actually out of a minivan. I know it's not a popular thing to say, but in terms of moving people around, that's what these things really do well. However, one of the things that some people have had an issue with is the ability to have real luxury with a minivan. They don't really coexist. That may have changed, because what you're looking at here is the 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Pinnacle. And I'm going to show you the interior because that's what it's all about. And then we'll talk about the exterior, which, by the way, pewter finish on just about everything out here. But this is the story. Napa, leather, quilted. Look at this material throughout. Yes, and pillows. The overall layout is about the same as it was before in terms of seating, but you have these really, really comfortable seats. And the pewter finish is even here on all of the components that you can touch. That's including up here in the front. Now, the interior layout is a little bit different than before. So they have the center stack, which now extends, and I can show you on the other vehicle. Let me show you the center stack. They're about the same. Here we go. Now it fully goes past the driver's seat instead of stopping before it. So that gives you center storage. And then underneath, there's additional storage right down there. So all in all, you're able to get a more luxurious interior with more goodies. Oh, up front, by the way, they now have a Qi setup where you can put your phone in right there in front of the cup holders. You can see that Andre, who's, by the way, behind the camera and doing an awesome job, because we have to navigate around a lot of other journalists, which is great because he kicks them really hard and they move. Let me show you one more thing.
And also the rear. I think the rear is cool.
Right. Remember I was telling you that there were some updates? So there's a new taillight design as well. Now the thing about the Pinnacle trim is that it's available with the front-wheel drive, the all-wheel drive, and the hybrid. So you can get it on any of those. And it is quite literally the top of the line, so it goes above the Limited. This is going to be on sale, along with the other vehicles, around the fourth quarter of 2020. But let's say you want the all-wheel drive sooner. Well, the current model, Chrysler Pacifica, will be getting an option for all-wheel drive really soon. So they want to pack it in that car as fast as they can. So your excuses for buying a crossover are starting to run out, folks, because now you get maximum utility and all-wheel drive, and it sounds like it's going to be a pretty cool all-wheel drive system. I talked to the folks at Chrysler. They're going to get one of the all-wheel drive ones out to us as soon as humanly possible. Oh, cool. We have access to the interior. I wanted to show you guys this. Look at that. The stitching, the additional pewter finish. You can see the piping on the seats, the quilting. Once again, I was talking about that pewter finish. It's even here on these components. And then over here, additional wood trim with this as well. I mean, this is fairly a luxurious minivan, right? Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me from the Chicago Auto Show. This is Nathan. Don't forget to go to tflcar.com for more news, views, real-world reviews. And remember, we're covering the Chicago Auto Show. A lot of videos coming out from here. I'll see you next time.
But dude, did they announce pricing too?
No, pricing has not been announced yet, nor has efficiency numbers. All I know is that the gas tank is 19 gallons and maintains its 19-gallon rating because even though they moved it around a little bit and changed the shape, it's still the same. So,
dang, I really wanted to know the price.
Sorry guys, but we'll get that as soon as we can.